Today, on the Invincible CEO channel, we are addressing a question by one of our amazing subscribers asking about limiting beliefs. Do you have limiting beliefs that are either keeping your manifestations from you, or do you have a belief about a belief that limits your manifestations from coming to you quickly? We are going to have limiting belief inception here today. So stay tuned to the end of this video. I'm not only going to read the questions to you that the subscriber submitted, but we're going to go into a deep dive to answer them. So once and for all, you can get rid of any limiting beliefs or a belief that you have limiting beliefs so that you can open up the space for your manifestations to free flow right into your reality. Welcome back to the Invincible CEO channel, the mind gym for manifestation. This is a place where we make manifestation natural, easy, and fun, just like it was meant to be. I'm going to give you everything I got to answer our subscribers' questions today. So you will say at the end of this video, oh my God, it really is that simple. Wow, just wow. My name is Dee Povernick, and I am the Invincible CEO, and I am the last most exciting manifestation coach you will ever need. I'm really just a big kid at heart. I'm kind of sitting here on my bouncy ball, so if you see me going like this, you know that I'm just letting that all come out. You're going to see this personality more and more and more. I'm really just a big kid at heart, and I've dedicated my life to guide others to make the most conscious, powerful manifestation decisions now and anchor those decisions in so deeply, because manifestation is meant to be natural, easy, and fun. So please join me as I help you cut to the front of the line of your deepest desires and manifest with ease. Why? Because I want to see you win big, and I want to see you win big all the time. It's no fun being the only person winning big, right? I need lots of friends to win big with me. So this channel is all about winning big quickly while experiencing fulfillment of your most inner desires to live the most amazing life that you love. That was a mouthful. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Now, I'm going to actually take a moment and read the actual question that was submitted. So here's the thing, friends. I love answering your questions. And there's many ways that you can get a question to me. You can put it in the comments, in the videos. You can send me your questions via email, denise@theinvincibleceo.com. And once I get these questions, if I can answer it in a quick, short, easy fashion, I will do that. But if I feel like we need a deeper dive, I'll create a video, not just for you, but for everyone. Because here's the thing that I know. If you weren't the one that sent in this question, but you're watching this video now, you have these questions within you, and your mind created this wonderful fulfillment here for you to get this question answered. Could it have come in a different way? Absolutely, but you're here now. So let's dive in. Okay, so our subscriber says, and this was actually a question, if you want to go and watch the video that this question has come from. It was our first live stream that we did last Wednesday. So it's the first live stream Rubber Ducky Challenge. That's the name of the video. And you'll be able to see where her mindset was in asking this question. Before we understand the law, and we can say it's the law of assumption or the law of attraction. I love them both. It's not either or. You can use both. But if you prefer one or the other, that's fine too. Before we understand the law, we've all been conditioned to think in a certain way for a specific outcome. Somehow we manifest our desires, but often with a lot of resistance due to those limiting beliefs, as well as there may be circumstances that cause us to lose our manifested desires. How can we consciously construct our neural pathways to minimize resistance on the manifestation journey? Is staying in the present moment enough for a smooth manifestation, or do we need inner work to change our self-concept and manifest like a god? Please share your personal experiences and perceptions on the path of least resistance and limiting beliefs. It would be great if you make a dedicated video for this. Thanks in advance. All right, so here we go. And wow, that's a story. You're going to hear me say that a lot. I have quite a few catchphrases. That's a story, but of course, you can't get it wrong, but you can make it long. But that's a story. So we're going to kind of pick this story apart step by step. And for those of you who are new here and don't know me, I am a trained interrogator. I am a financial fraud investigator as one of the things that I do. And I've been doing that for over 30 years. I'm a profiler. I'm a closer. I'm the investigator that goes in when other investigators can't get the confession, right? And I got usually 5 minutes to get this information out. So what I do is I listen to what you're saying here. And out of all the words you could have chosen to ask this question, these were the words. But I want you to see, as we pick this apart, how much the words create a story that cage you into what it is that they represent. So before we understand the law right away, we're saying that we don't understand the law. And one of the things with the law of assumption specifically is the implication. So right away in the beginning of this, we're already starting out that we're putting ourselves in a universe. Now, I understand for the sake of writing the question, you wrote the question. And as you work with me more and more, you're going to watch your words. And if any of my clients are watching, they can put that in the comments. You got to watch your words around me, because you do have the right to remain silent, because anything you say will be held against you in the Invincible CEO. But for your benefit. And that's why in investigations and in law, that is such a powerful right that you have. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to go back to ground zero, where there's no thought, where there's no conditioning, because every single word starts to condition the reality that you're in. So before we understand the law is the assumption that we don't understand the law, or that there is a process that we have to get to understand the law. We've all been conditioned. Have we all? Can you speak for everyone? Now, you can speak for everyone in your reality, because that's how you're creating them. So when you say we've all been conditioned and you're the God of your reality, because you already are before you understand anything or not, but you're conditioning all the people in your reality that they have been conditioned in a certain way for a specific outcome. And I truly get what you're saying. I understand it from the human standpoint, but we're here taking the deeper dive today. So you have to watch your words, because they will hold you into the reality, and you are the one birthing them into reality. So think about this. It's one thing if it stays in your head, but once you start speaking it and once you start writing it, you're commanding it into a reality. But the nice thing is you don't have to set up a zip code, and you can leave that reality as soon as you realize what you've done. Okay. Often with a lot of resistance due to limiting beliefs. So we have a limiting belief about limiting beliefs. And you're going to hear me say this often. All thought, negative, positive, good, bad, whatever kind of dualistic term you want to put on it, all thought is bullshit. Gotta say it. You don't need it. You never did. I just did a video the other day about, do you think for yourself? Actually, it was last night's video. And it's, do you think for yourself? And it's busting manifestation myths. You don't need to think. You were a powerful manifester long before you even knew a word, long before you even knew language, right? So we don't even have to think in order to manifest. What it is, what we're really doing is we're going from one state of being to another. So right now, I'm in the sitting state of being. The sitting me, and you're going to hear me use this analogy a lot, has to die if I want to stand up, because the standing me is invisible right here. If I decide to go this way, and if I decide to go this way, there's another invisible me right here waiting for me to pull the consciousness out of the sitting me. And as I go to stand, then the standing me is realized as a different state of being than the sitting me. And because we're here in this virtual reality, it feels like we're one body moving through time and space. But really, you're one consciousness pulling yourself from frame to frame to frame. Because if we did a slow motion video of me going to stand up, we would see every single frame would be another movement until I stand. And really what's happening in slow motion is my consciousness is going from state to state to state to state to state to state until I go from sitting to standing. And that is where the law of polarity, there's a beginning, there's an end, and there's all the variation in between. So there's a variation of me sitting all the way up to the variation of me standing. And what is true with one analogy is true with all analogies. So all we're ever doing is going from a state of being. So a great example I give of this is, just imagine you are the recipient of a surprise party, whether it's birthday or just because party, and all of your friends decided they wanted to surprise you. And if you've ever read the book by Dr. David Hawkins, Power versus Force, I use his chart of consciousness in my training and in my programs. And it starts down at the lowest levels of consciousness of shame and guilt, moves up to apathy and grief, and it works its way up to eventually fear and anger and desire and courage, then neutrality. That's where I always want to get you, because at the point of neutrality, you're coming out of the negative ego or the negative mindset. And then after neutrality, the first level is willingness. And then you have willingness, and then you have acceptance, and you go all the way up till you get to the top of the thinking, which is reason. And in order to go into love and higher, you have to let thought go. You have to, when you get into those higher realms of reality, it doesn't mean you're not in your physical form. It just means you're not thinking. And one of the favorite ways I love to get there, and I'll go back to the party analogy in 1 second, is I love water fasting, water only. So once a week, I will water fast for 1 day, meaning all I do is take in water. Then once a month, I will do it for 3 days. Once a quarter, I will do usually about 7 to 10 days. But my longest water fast so far has been 21 days of just water. And what happens, it started around day 5, but as I do this more and more, it kind of now goes at day 3 and 4. The monkey mind shuts down. The monkey mind shuts down because the body is shutting down digestion. And it's no longer using the energy for the food needs to digest. Your body has to eliminate its waste and so forth. So when the energy is not needed for that anymore, things start to get calmer and calmer and calmer within you. And if, for those of you who don't know, I'm a certified personal trainer and certified nutritionist on top of being an investigator. So when this is happening, what happens around now, day 3, 4 for me, is that the monkey mind shuts down, which means I don't have to stop thought. It just stops. And I'm in that awareness and observation state of being, and it's like so peaceful. And when you're there, when I go to think about something, if I need to consciously think about something, you almost can feel the mechanism kicking in. But it's very clear, it's very succinct and to the point where I don't have to use a lot of energy for thought. And that has been one of the biggest things in this consciousness journey that I'm on, that I understand now what's going on these lower levels. So going back to the analogy of a surprise party for you, all the same characters are going to be there, but I want you to picture that we're in a building that has like 10 floors. And each floor that you get off the elevator, it's going to look exactly the same. It's going to look like the room that has your party in it. But how you receive everyone is based on what state of being you're in. So if you're feeling guilty, Dr. David Hawkins' chart, and your friend takes you there and you get there and they open the door and everybody goes, surprise, and you're feeling guilty, you're going to be like, why are they doing this for me? I haven't done anything for them. And you're not going to enjoy yourself. And then you're going to have conversations with people at the party that really feel like they should be somewhere else. And then it's going to confirm how you feel about yourself, like you know that they really don't want to be there based on the conversations you're having. So then I would say to you, pull yourself out of that reality and then go up in the elevator. And if you go up a few floors, you'll go to the anger level, because anger is a lot higher than guilt. And when you get off at that elevator and you go into the room and everybody goes, surprise, now you're pissed because you told your friend you never wanted a surprise party. And they were so excited to bring you one because you never had one and you never wanted one. And now you're angry. And so it's the same people. Everybody's wearing the same clothes. Everything looks the same, except it's how you are. You're pushing that out to everyone there. And then people are going to say things that are going to make you angrier. You're going to meet angry people there. And that's how this works. And then if we pull you back out of that level of reality and we take you up a few floors and now you're at neutrality, you'll be like, oh, a surprise party. You go out the elevator, everybody says surprise, and you're like, oh, it's a party. Okay, and there's people. And everybody else, and it'll be a really kind of boring party. Everybody's just like, yep, here we are. But that's the state we want to get to before we decide to choose where we're going in. Because again, your free will ends at the choice. Now you have free will to choose, but once you choose something, you are now in that reality. So if we use this example here, if you didn't write this from the point of neutrality, because from the point of neutrality, if you got yourself to that neutral, zeroed out state, you wouldn't be seeing this way. You would be using different words to rewrite this, right? And right away, it lets me know that this is just coming from a mind that's overworked and probably frustrated or exhausted from all this manifestation stuff. Because manifestation is simply what's happening, and then we put a story over top of it. If we go back to our party example, it's the same party, but what is my state of being? And I'm going to put that on top of that. So if we even use that party example and we go into unconditional love, right? At the higher level on Dr. David Hawkins' chart. We walk in there, they'd say surprise, and no words would be needed. Like, you could spend the whole evening just being in the presence of the people. You've done that. You know someone in your life where the two of you can be in the room for hours and you feel seen and you feel heard and you feel loved, even though there isn't a word being said. So again, everything comes back to you. And if we're using your question as an example of where your mindset is here, you believe in resistance because you're giving it life. It doesn't exist outside of you putting it in the sentence. So how can we consciously construct neural pathways? Don't worry about the biology. Let the biology take care of itself. What's more important for you as a conscious creator is this, and here's the secret sauce. If you are rattled, if you are in emotion, whether it's an angry emotion, a sad emotion, a happy emotion, you're not at neutral point. And as an interrogator, it's my job, if I'm trying to get information out of you, to rattle you to the point of emotion, especially negative emotion, because then I can really direct the narrative. Then I can really frazzle you and get the information out of you that I want. This is what we're trained to do. But someone who's at neutral can't be rattled because nothing's personal at neutral. Everything just is. That's what the great isness is. So going to neutral, so can you say for sure that you were at neutral before you wrote this? Because when we're not at neutral, we identify, we take it personally. So here is staying in the present moment enough. That's all there ever is. That's the funny part. How do you know you're out of the present moment? I'm going to give you a very binary computer 0-1 type of thing, on off. If I'm on 0, right, I don't need to think. Everything just is. And it's allowed to be because it's what's here. This is what my mind is pushing out right now, thinking that at any moment on anything around me that I could use, that I could need for my story. It's like a prop. If we went onto a stage and we were in a play, there's a bunch of props and we move these props around and we make it believable that we believe in them so that the audience will believe us. Okay, so now what I would suggest to you is that we don't need any of that mental stuff. Come out to neutral. How you do that, I call it 0 point, or you can call it resting as awareness. I also call it that. And on the channel, if you go into the Invincible CEO channel, you will find there's at least 4 videos up about resting as awareness. And in my programs, we use resting as awareness a lot. You can do it. Sometimes you only got 3 deep breaths. You can do it in your car. You can do it while you're waiting for an appointment. All it means is for probably about, I'd say 10 to 15 seconds, 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And you may not be to total 0 point, but you've pulled yourself out of the story, because when we're in first person, we write questions like that because we forget that we are the consciousness that is fueling the character. So what resting as awareness does, it kind of, if you've ever seen the Marvel movie Doctor Strange, when he gets knocked out of his body, when he first goes to Kamatage and he gets knocked out of his body, it's a way of knocking you out of the physical reality. Those 3 deep breaths pull you out of the story. So now you can have, and you can look at it from third person point of view, or what I call the hybrid state. Because when you're in first person, you're the character. When you're in third person, you're in the hybrid. And then you have the grand creator, which is superseding both of those characters. But we'll get into that in another time. But when you pull out within 3 deep breaths, 10 to 15 seconds, because you have the right to remain silent, and everything softens around you, and now there is no story. Now, I would suggest when you have at least 3 to 6 minutes to rest as awareness, to do so. And again, I always rest as awareness with my eyes open. I pick a focal point and I start deep breathing, and I let everything around me soften. Because what this does, it makes me remember I'm life itself. None of this exists without me. I'm pushing everything and everyone out. And the moment I close my eyes, so I'm going to double dog dare you right now, close your eyes. You are now in closed eye reality. All of that disappeared because none of it was needed for closed eye reality. Remember, open eye reality, take a look around. Now close your eyes. None of it's there, but you know it's there, but it's not there because your mind doesn't have to render it, because for closed eye reality, it knows what closed eye reality is. And what I love to do is I love to keep my eyes open and let everything soften, because I'm the one dominating, right? That's my word for 2024. I'm the dominator. This is all my dominion. And no one or no thing has free will other than the storyline that I believe that I'm in, because everybody is helping me fulfill what I feel like. So if you feel like you need to do stuff in order to make stuff happen, then you're going to forever be on the hamster wheel doing that. But what I would like for you to do is to take a step back, to realize you are existence, you are life itself, that you do not need thought to exist. And going into resting as awareness kind of proves that. As you first do it, you'll have some thoughts that float in, but you start to realize you are the consciousness that allows thoughts to float in. Because if you were not conscious, the thoughts would have nowhere to go. And the thoughts must audition for your attention, for you then to come out of third person into first person and say, yes, this is me. This is the reality that I want to see acted out. This is the reality that I want to fulfill. Is this making sense? This is very powerful stuff here, guys. And if you have any questions at any time, then please put them in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. So, going back now to the question, how can we consciously construct neural pathways? Forget about the biology. That'll do. Right now, you're not saying, how do I consciously beat my heart? How do I consciously digest my food? Those things that are happening in the subconscious, let the subconscious have domain of them. That's what it's here to do. The subconscious does not have eyes. And what the subconscious does, it relies on you, the outer character, to be the eyes and the ears and the smell and the taste and the touch for it. And as you're going and you're doing your due diligence, right? You're going around and seeing, okay, this is what I have in my reality. I can use all of this, but what else do I need? What else do I want to play with, right? So it's not even a need anymore. It's what do I want to play with? And next thing you know, your subconscious will be rendering it and printing it out for you to play with. But if you're saying, where is it? Or I'm blocked, or I have certain conditioning, then your subconscious is like a magic genie. It goes, your wish is my command. Allow me to give you more blockages. Allow me to give you things to resist against. Allow me to make this longer for you, because that's what you're telling me as the conscious creator. Now, here I like to play with words a lot, and you'll see how my mind works with words. So I get the path of least resistance, but why don't we flip the coin? Because on the other side of the coin of the path of least resistance is the path of most allowance. How much fun is that? The path of most allowance. Because then we're not putting resistance in, because we're not even using the word resistance anymore. It's what's implied. I know you're trying to imply the path of most allowance when you're saying the path of least resistance, but you are where you are. And as a conscious creator, you can get a little more playful. I don't want to say you have to get the right word, because you don't. It's really what's implied. But let's play with the words that we want to see. Right? Think about an allowance when you were a kid. Allowance was freedom. You got some money from your parents from doing some chores, and it was freedom for you. Resistance, hey, it's a wonderful thing as a personal trainer in the gym. Resistance grows your muscles, right? So leave the resistance where we need it. Put it in the gym. But here, let's go to the path of most allowance. And then, because now you have to consciously choose your words, not because there's right or wrong, but it's really the same as if you just got a new house and you want to decorate it. You're just not going to go into a store and go, here's stuff for the wall. This looks like wall stuff. You're going to allow yourself to express, or the clothes that you wear, you're going to allow yourself to express. So I want to go over the questions one more time to make sure that we got everything. Before we understand the law, we've all been conditioned. No, we have not. But if you're the God of that reality, and you are, and you want everybody to be conditioned, then so they will be, right? As you say, they will be. But often with a lot of resistance due to limiting beliefs. Well, limiting beliefs, you have to create them in the moment. They don't exist. The moment you say limiting beliefs, they're created. But it's so vague. Do you think about that? And then you have to go in and say, well, what are the limiting beliefs? And that's how you get sucked into a reality. You don't have to put the fires of an old reality out. It's a state of being. The standing me does not have to fix the sitting me. the standing me will never sit and the sitting me will never stand. And for the sitting me, the standing reality is mind-blowing. Like, who would do that, right? Because all the sitting me ever does is sit. And to the standing me, that's mind-blowing, because all the standing me is like, who are these sitting people and why are they there? It doesn't make any sense. And sitters will never stand and standers will never sit. So you don't have to put fires out of the old reality. Just don't go there anymore. If you don't think it in this moment, it doesn't exist. And your mind can present it to you in many different ways. But here's the other thing, and I did a short on this the other day. You're never being tested. Unless you create a reality where you're being tested. And if you're being tested, do you even put in the possibility that you pass the test and you passed it quickly? And if you're going to have a reality where you test yourself and you pass quickly, then why not just get rid of the test? You don't have to be tested anymore. It's all you doing all of it. And how you know what reality is what's coming out of your mouth, what's being put on paper, because then it cages you into that reality. And it's a wonderful thing if that's the reality that you want. If that's the reality that you want and it's all, roses and puppy dogs and unicorns, knock your socks off. Because that's what we want. When we do get to our reality, we want to cage ourselves into that reality until we get bored with it or we want something different. And that's the other thing. You're allowed to have as much difference. Instead of staying in duality of right or wrong and up and down or left and right or this and that, just make everything different. Every choice is different. The other thing that I would say to you that I would adopt, and this made a world of difference for me, is I've always made the best decisions. I'm always doing the best that I can from where I'm at, and I've always made the best decisions. Because then, if there was a version of me that made a decision that this version of me would not make, that's okay. I'm in third person. I'm no longer in the decision time. I'm no longer at that point where the decision was made. If I'm reflecting back on it, I'm in third person. I'm not in first person. And why would I criticize another version of me if she too was doing the best that she could from where she was? See how all this works. And it's so exciting. And I'm so thankful that you asked this question. So thank you guys for staying here at this point. Is staying in the present moment enough? That's all that ever is. And you need a thought to tell you that you're not in the present moment or that you're not in the wish fulfilled, because it's everything, everywhere, all at once. It's right here. And your next thought opens up the reality. And remember, the reality looks a lot like the one you just left. But trust, no wavering. You make a decision. And I'll share one more thing because it's so exciting. And I'll do a whole other video. If you want to see a full-blown thing on how I imagine, put that in the comment section because I'm really excited to do that. But this is how I imagine. If I want something, the outer me goes, whoo, I want this thing. And then I kind of make a phone call to the inner me, right? And she picks up the phone. And I'm like, I want this thing. I want this. Let's see. The next thing on my left list is a BMW X5. I would like a BMW X5 and I would like it blue, dark blue outside with a coffee interior and a 50i and the whole 9 yards. And I want it new. And I then imagine her writing it all down. And then she creates an image of being in the car, going food shopping. Like, I let her create the image for me. Not that I'm at the dealership buying it, but I'm at the store doing something that I would normally be doing every day or every other day or how often I go food shopping. And then once she gives me that image and it's given back to me, so I gave it to her, she gave it back, there's my confirmation. I no longer have to say, is it working or when will it show up? Because she has it and she's the real me. She's the real me. I'm just the echoes of her being pushed out. So if she's the real me inside and she already has it, it takes away time. It takes away space. I no longer say, will it work or not work? She already has it. I'm just waiting for the ripples of being pushed out for it to show up. And all I have to do is be aware of what's my next step in the realization of that. So guys, this was so much fun. Use Guys in I'm from Philly. Use Guys is coming out here. This was so much fun for me to do this for you today. Keep your questions and comments coming. I'm loving the feedback. We're having explosive growth here on the Invincible CEO YouTube channel. Please share the channel with all your manifestation friends. If you haven't yet joined the Facebook group, the Invincible CEO Circle, all the links are in the description in this video. And if you do want to work with me one-on-one, I have one-off sessions. I have full 3-month programs. I do nutrition programs, training programs. It's all incorporated in what we do here, because if you're going to change, you might as well change mind, body, spirit. I mentioned earlier some of the things that I do, but I'm also a 9th degree Reiki Grandmaster. I think there's about 50 of us in the world. So again, thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I look forward to all of your amazing questions as they begin to unfold and we share this journey together. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Enjoy.